the cool thing about life is the fact that it's unique to you. Nobody else will ever live your life. Nobody else will ever have the experiences that you've had and then feel the way you felt while viewing those experiences. Nobody else will ever have the life you live because it is your own personal truth. In a world where everybody is running from their truth to follow the wrong crowd, if in so many words, like everybody's trying to fit in to the mold of who society tells them to be. And especially nowadays, we see people all chasing similar things. All of a sudden, everyone wants to be an influencer. Everybody wants to be famous or a rapper or just somebody big. Everybody wants everybody else to know their name. Everybody that's chasing that type of thing, that status, that fame, they want people to know their truth. They want people to know their story. They want people to glorify them and to shine light on their life. They want the light to be shown on their life. But the thing about it is, if you are not living in your truth, there will be no light shining from you, because the truth is in the light and the light shines. So when you are living in your own personal truth, you shine for yourself. And then when you shine for yourself, you realize you don't care if other people pay attention to you, because it's not about the eyes that are on you and how they perceive you. It's about the eyes from which you view the world in, if that makes sense. What I'm saying with that is, a lot of people, whether they know it or not, subconsciously, every little thing they do is just to please another person. Someone would put on a certain outfit. Like, there are people out there who wake up, they get ready and they get dressed to impress others, because there is no light shining from within them. You see, if you have your light shining from within you, I'm telling you, nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing on this planet will ever have you looking at yourself from a distorted lens. And what I mean by that is, from a very early age, pretty much every single person on this planet gets traumatized somehow, some way. I don't think there's anybody on the planet who has not experienced trauma, because that's just the way the world is. The world is wicked. The world is full of demons and demonic spirits that plague us because we are sinful in our nature. And that's a whole nother story. But if you want to know what I mean by that, I recommend you read the book of Genesis. It's the first book in the Bible, and that'll tell you exactly why the world is. Read the book of Genesis, and then read Revelations, and then read Luke, and then read Matthew, Proverbs. Read the Bible. Read the whole book. Literally just read the Bible, y'all, and it'll explain life itself. It'll explain all the questions you have about life. Why do children die? Why do we get sick? Why do we get diseases? Why do we get cancer? God already explained it for us, because from the minute Adam and Eve sinned, he put a plan in place to restore humanity, because he was like, But you might be wondering, why didn't he just kill Adam and Eve and then start over? You see, the thing about God is, he does the best possible option. So you have to think about it, right? If he would have killed Adam and Eve and then remade the humans without sin again, instead of letting Adam and Eve procreate and then pass down the sin, clearly killing them off and restarting them wasn't the best option. And you might be saying, all this war, all this famine, all this poverty, all this disease and sickness that's going on is the best possible option for us to go back into the grace of God and for God to do on earth what is done in heaven. That's the best possible option. Like, this is the best possible path. Yes, it is. The way your life has gone down, though it might have been harrowing and disastrous and chaotic and all these things, it was also good. You cannot say that you have never had a good moment in your life. You cannot say that you have never had a hearty laugh in your life. You cannot say that you have never had a genuine smile in your life. A lot of people, what they do is they focus on all the chaos and disaster and destruction that has gone on in their life, and they pretty much wash away the good. It's almost like, have y'all ever seen somebody like be overcome with the feeling of nostalgia, like in person, not just through the internet watch or even observing yourself have nostalgia? A lot of the time when people feel nostalgia, they look back. Some people, not all, but most people look back at that time period where they're feeling that nostalgia, and they get sad. They get sad because they have not accepted the fact that it is over. They get sad because it's almost like they're mourning a part of them. But then you also have people who feel nostalgia and get happy. I'm one of those people. I look back at shows and movies and stuff from the early 2000s, and I feel happy. I'll be like, man, those were good times. You want to know why? Because I've learned to embrace the fact that the good and the bad exist in my life. You understand? Like, oh my gosh, I hope I'm not confusing y'all. I hope and I pray that I am not confusing y'all. This is just the process that my brain goes through to speak words. Like, does anybody else talk like the way I talk? Because this is the process that my brain goes through to formulate words. Because a lot of people, they hear their thoughts. They can hear their thoughts just as I can hear the leaves rustling. I can hear my voice out loud. I can hear the airplane in the distance. I don't really hear my thoughts. I see my thoughts. And the fact that I didn't even see an airplane when I looked up, but I imagined an airplane. Like, I'm a very visual. It's so easy. Like, I can imagine things clear as day, because I literally just imagined an airplane, but there's no airplane there. But I saw it, but it was never there. You get what I mean? Like, my imagination is ridiculously, incredibly creative. I have to give it to myself, but I have to give it to God, because he is the creator of all things. So he's the ultimate creative person. You understand? A lot of the time we don't accept the pain of the past. We don't accept our trauma. And you might say, I do accept what I've been through. I do, but you don't, because you still carry that pain with you throughout the days. You still victimize yourself. When you really accept that what happened, and you accept that as your truth, because it is your truth. Literally every single thing you've done, every single thing you think, every single thing you say, every single thing about who you are, down to the amount of hairs in your right eyebrow, down to the amount of hairs in your left nostril, is your truth. Because if I have approximately 119,007 hairs in my nose, and I lie and I say, oh, I have 40,000 hairs in my nose, that's not my truth, because that's not true about me. Now, technically, I could pluck out a good gaggle of them and then get to 40,000. But anyways, I digress. When you view yourself as a victim, when you view yourself as broken or as helpless or useless, you're seeing yourself through the eyes of trauma. You're seeing yourself through the eyes of a victim. And you cannot do that. You cannot be praying for peace if you're victimizing yourself, because your peace comes from accepting your truth. A lot of people, a good example, a lot of people are so unhappy with their lives because they don't accept that where they are is where they are. A lot of people wish they were a whole nother person. So you know how many people literally it's so, and I used to be somebody like that. And so I can talk about it because I used to walk about it. You know what I mean? I used to walk in that. But do you know how many people tune into another person's life on a daily basis? Like, that is insanely parasocial and scary, to have someone viewing your life at all times. And because you are being seen, it's almost like you're being put in the spotlight to shine, and it's like dance, monkey dance, perform, pigeon perform. And that's why these people are faking the funk, because they're not living in their truth. To show up every day and to show people the same image, to get people to perceive you in a consistent manner, on a consistent basis for a long period of time, means you're performing. And let me say that again. For someone to have the same perception of you for so long and feel like you have always been just right as rice, you understand? Right as rain. I think that's the right saying. Why did I said right as rice, but the saying is white as rice, but the real saying that I was trying to say was right as rain, but I combined the two sayings by saying right as rice. Like, life be funny like that. Like, why do our brains jumble stuff up like that? You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy how your brain it's like it has like a whole glossary, a whole index of things that are similar and things that we know are alike. So when things are too similar, it's like the brain pushes them both at the same time. That's so funny to me. Like, that's how I imagine it. Like, I imagine it like a file cabinet. Like, it's like my brain, what I'm imagining is like there's a file cabinet in there, and then you know how it's like alphabetized, and then it's even like alphabetized even more, and then even more, it's like organized to the T. And so when things are like super similar, even when they're organized to the T, like the saying white as rice and right as rain, the brain will push them both out. It's like, which one am I trying to say? Which folder do I pick? I guess push them both out, and then you end up jumbling up your words. Like, that's how I'm imagining it. But what I'm trying to say with that is, your struggle is your strength. And that is an affirmation I keep saying to myself over and over and over again. Whenever something feels like a struggle, no matter what it is, whether I'm resisting temptation or whether I am resisting the urge to clap back and go back to who I used to be and really like pop my ish for real, because folks be getting slick out the mouth. Oh my gosh, when you getting close to God, these people are going to test you. These demons are going to taunt you. They're going to turn around and smack your butt. Okay, I don't know why I did that. I don't know what was going on. They're gonna smack their butt in your face and taunt you, and you're gonna be like, oh, I know you didn't. And God be like, don't even. And you be like, but look. And God be like, don't. That's what they want. That's how they want you to react. And every time you get out of character, the demons laugh, because they're like, aha, made you look. Life feels taxing on us physically because it is a spiritual battle. You see, we are not fighting flesh and blood. You got people murdering folks, you got people doing all these types of things, but we are not fighting flesh and blood. If you feel like you're in the struggle right now, let me tell you something. You're perceiving it as your struggle, but whole time you are blessed because you're struggling. You want to know why you are blessed? Because you are struggling. Hold on. Because you're fighting the good fight. You're not fighting the bad fight. You're not fighting against the flesh and the blood. You're fighting the spiritual fight. And that is your strength. Because life feels taxing on you because you're taking on a lot spiritually. And the more and more you conquer, the more blessed you become. The more blessed you become. So when you looking at your life through the eyes of pain, through the eyes of struggle, through the eyes of brokenness, you're looking at yourself as if you're losing, and you're not. Because each and every day that you get up and you fight even more, you're getting stronger, man. I used to want to take my life, but I pushed through that because I was facing so much. I didn't want to go no more, bro. I didn't want to. You okay? You want some water? But I pushed through that. That is why I can say, look, live in your truth. I cannot hide it anymore. I won't hide myself anymore, not a part of myself, not any piece of myself, because all of me is a blessing. My whole life has been a blessing, even up to this point, because all of that struggle, even the struggle that I face in present day, because I struggle, but I don't struggle. I get stronger. A lot of us pray for strength, but we're not willing to feel weak, because when you're feeling weak, that means you're bearing a lot spiritually. That means you're lifting those spiritual weights, and you're like, dang, man, this hurts. You're feeling that pain, but no pain, no gain. What blessings do you, like, we gain the best blessings in life through pain. So if it's hard right now, if it's really, really hard right now, I'm telling y'all, the sun feels so good. The warm sunlight feels so much better than the cold darkness that you might be feeling. The sun does shine again. The sun does come out from the clouds. Yesterday was a cloudy day, and I felt so off yesterday. And I feel like the weather be affecting my mood. And every time I'm in direct sunlight, I feel recharged. You want to know why? Because God is an intentional God. He made it so that way you literally are organic matter. Bones, calcium, vitamins, blood, flesh, tissue. You are organic matter. All organic matter is able to be absorbed into each other on a molecular level, on a level that we cannot see. Just how when you eat food and there's nutrients in it, molecules, compounds, atoms that are in these fruits and vegetables, and you eat them, and then your body absorbs them like a superpower. That's why you can't be putting crap in your body, because then you start absorbing crap. You can't be consuming crap on the internet, because then you become crap. You become the crap, and you're not crap. You are a creation. You have been created by the Most High God. Nothing about you is crappy. Let me say that again. You have been created by the Most High God, Jehovah. Nothing about you is useless. You have been created by the Most High God, Jehovah. Nothing about you is broken. You have been created by the Most High God, Jehovah. There is nothing wrong with you. He created you the way you look, the way my hair texture is, the thickness of my hair, my hairline, my skin condition, my nose, my lips, my teeth, my eyebrows, my eyes, my vision, my eyelashes, my fingernails, the way my hair, like every little thing down to the T. He has put you together piece by piece, dust by dust by dust by dust, building you to be who you are today. So don't you dare look at yourself as if you're broken. What the is wrong with you? You better get it together. I know that much. You better shape up or ship out. I know that much. You better look in the mirror and remember who you are. I know that much. Because these demons, they want you to feel shame. They want you to look back at your past and feel ashamed. They want you to look in the mirror and be ashamed of who you are. They want you to feel guilty. They want you to be angry. They want you to be riled up. They want you to hate yourself, because then Satan wins. And these demons, they work for Satan. You see, when Satan was cast out of heaven, he did not go alone. He had followers in heaven. He had angels in heaven who he convinced. Somewhere in this video, I'm not sure when, because I've been editing this video for a while, but somewhere in this video I said something about how Satan is running out of time. Y'all, I'm not playing. I really do recommend y'all read the Bible. This is no joke. Like, have fun. God wants you to live forever, which is why he sent Jesus down here. And you might be wondering, what do you mean we're living in the last days? Revelation 12:12 says that Satan is running out of time. And as he is running out of time, he is strengthening his attacks, because Satan was cast down, because he tried to take over heaven, because Satan thought that he deserved God's glory. Y'all, if you are uneducated, before making any assumptions, read the Bible. Now, if you read the Bible and you decide that it's I'm talking about read the Bible. I haven't even read the Bible completely. So until you read the Bible completely, and I don't just mean read it as a book, I mean read it to understand. Take your time and understand. So you're not going to read it in a month. You're not going to read it in a year. They have plans where you can read it in a year. Take your time, because if you are genuinely doing your very best, if you genuinely believe that Jesus is Lord, that Jesus is King, if you genuinely believe that Jesus is the Son of God and that you will be saved through him, then you are saved. But you need to act out your faith. But the only ones who really are running out of time are those who are not saved, because if you are not saved and then time is up and Satan gets up, not Satan, Jesus gets up and he comes here to undo all this sin, and you are not saved, then that's it for you. No more. No, you don't get to live no more. But if you are saved, you literally get to live forever. This is what God has promised. God, he has always been. There is no beginning and there is no end to God. He has always been. And whenever I think about that, because God is the creator of time. So when we think about it, we be like, there's something before time. Like, there used to be no such thing as time. Like, it's insane. And that's just God. Like, he, the creator of all things, number one, loves you so much. Why do you think you wake up every day? Because he wants you to live forever. You wake up every day because he's giving you the opportunity to keep going in his direction. He knows you're not perfect. He knows you're going to make a mistake. Trust in him and give your life to Jesus Christ, so that way you will be saved and you can live forever. But if you don't want to live forever, then you do what you want to do. You sin as much as you want to sin, and you go ahead and you be thrown into the lake of fire along with Satan and his demons and everybody else, because the Bible, it's a prophecy. It's literally a promise of what's going to happen, literally. And so it does prophesize that not everybody will be saved. That is a promise. Unfortunately, there will be others. There will be, because the doors to heaven are narrow. And honestly, I'm ready for Jesus to come back. If Satan running out of time, I'm hoping he got 5 seconds left, because I don't want to deal with this sinful world no more. Like, I had a whole moment. Anyways, I'm yapping. Back to the video. So Satan can convince other people to plague you. So you better remember who you are, and you better pray for discernment. You better pray that God fixes your vision to see like him. Because to be able to, and we'll never be able to see the way we'll never be able to see the thing. We'll never be able to see the world the way God sees the world. We'll never be able to see things the way God sees them. But every single day that you pray that he fixes your vision to align with his, the more you will see, the more truth you will see. And you realize, man, I don't fit in with these folks, but that's okay. Because I don't want to be a friend of the world. I don't care to be a friend of the world anymore. I want to leave the world behind, because the world wants me to feel ashamed. If you are trying to fit the mold of society, just know that you are not being a friend of God. And you might not be doing it on purpose, but you're not being a friend of God, because God wants you to focus on him. We're in this situation right now because we think that we're able to control ourselves. We think that we can help ourselves. We think that we can save ourselves. We think that we can govern ourselves. Now look at the world. You ever hear somebody say, man, they feel like just a kid just faking through life? Because you are. Hello, the self-awareness is really through the roof. When you feel like you're a kid just going through life, like, man, what is going on? Like when you see full-grown adults and they're in their uniform, you see a police officer, you see a firefighter. I see a little kid playing police. I see a little kid playing firefighter. I see a little kid playing architect. I see a little kid playing McDonald's worker. I see a little kid playing a little kid sometimes. I see a little kid playing an elderly person. It's all a projection. It's all a projection. We believe that we're able to govern ourselves, and we really are not. We do, in fact, need God's guidance. There is no way you will ever live a happy life if you do not keep the law of Jehovah God. Happy is the one who follows the law, and not the law of this world. Obviously, obey the law, like don't get into trouble. But happy is not the one who conforms to the world. Happy is the one who follows the commandments, who keeps the commandments of God and who follows Jesus Christ. Happy is the one who believes in Jesus Christ. Happy is the one who accepts Jesus Christ as the way, the truth, the light, the Lord of heaven and earth. Happy is the one who accepts that truth. Those who do not accept the truth that Jesus is the way and that Jesus is the Lord, they are not living a happy life. So when it means to accept your truth, it means to accept the truth of all of you. Accept all the things that you have projected. Because the way I see it, your mind is like the projector box. Your eyes are the lens. And then the world is the projector screen. So everything you are seeing is a projection, or the way you perceive the screen is a projection of what you're playing on the projector. And what's playing on the projector is what's going on in the subconscious mind. A lot of people seek validation all the time. I seen a video earlier today of a young woman doing a skincare routine, and her face was just full of filler, lips plumped up, looking like somebody chewed on them. I was like, there are people, and I'm not making fun of her. It's actually sad that people feel the need to change anything about them. And I'm gonna be real, I'm one of those types of women who say women shouldn't wear makeup, who say women don't need to wear the fake hair, who say women don't need to do any of that, because you don't. Just be as you are. Literally, your natural hair is what it is. So what if it's short? So what if it's fried, dyed, and laid to the side? So what if it's healthy? So what if it's long? So what if you have a bad haircut? Rock it and embrace it. Embrace it as if you did it intentionally. Every little thing that life throws at you, you handle it with grace. You be like, oh, this didn't even affect me. And that doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl. No matter what life throws at you, you just gotta be like, man, whatever. That's all you got, Satan. That's because we can't say that's life throwing it at us. It's really the demons trying to get us out of character. It's not life. When we say life is getting us down, it's not life, because life is good. Life is a gift from God. How could your gift from God get you down? How could your gift from God be throwing curveballs at you? That's not God. See, God is he's not the creator of confusion. That's Satan's job to confuse you. That's Satan's job to get you to be like, man, I thought life was good. What's going on? Like, that's Satan. Open your eyes, people. You have to train your eyes to see Satan's tactics, because they can be as minuscule as a small interaction. It can be so minuscule that Satan can get you through small talk with a stranger. Somehow, some way, he can get to you if you are not careful and if you do not catch him. God is the way out of this darkness, and to get to God, you have to follow Jesus Christ. This is not a game, y'all. Read the book of Revelations. Read the Bible. I'm not even playing. You can study the Bible. You can read the Bible. It is everything that's happening today. The California being on fire, COVID. The world is plagued with diseases, sicknesses, unnatural natural disasters, killings, senselessness, children disrespecting their parents. It's that specific in the Bible. The Bible was well written. It was written way before we were even born. Yet everything that has been prophesied to happen in the Bible has happened. And in the Bible, Jesus said that in so many words, the way the world looks today is a sign that he is soon to come. We are living in the last days, y'all. If you have not started walking in the truth, I suggest you get up and you do something and you start walking towards Jesus. You download the Bible app. You go buy a Bible. You go to church. You listen to some gospel music. You think it's a game until you hear that. You will think it's a game until you hear that angel stand up and blow that trumpet. And then when Jesus is up on that throne and you get to him and he says, I do not know you, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven. Oh my gosh, that's it for you. That's it for you. There will be no eternal life for you, because Jehovah, God wants us to live forever. God literally created humans to live forever and never die. But God says, through Jesus Christ, you will be saved and you will be gifted with eternal life. All your loved ones who passed on can come back. That is the good news. That is the best news you could ever hope for. So whenever I feel like giving up, I remind myself I cannot go back to how I used to be, because we want our lives to be amazing, right? No suffering. We want to be able to live comfortably, and you can have that through Jesus Christ. And not only live comfortably, let's say if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and let's say 90 is when it's time to go, right? If Jesus doesn't come back before then, which I ain't gonna lie, y'all, it's getting worse and worse. I remember when I was a little girl, I would barely hear police sirens in this neighborhood, and I live in Miami, a very busy part of Miami. You hear that? That's constantly throughout the day. There's not 1 minute of the day where it's no sirens. It's back and forth. There's constantly sirens, motorcycle crash, sirens, police. It's senseless. We're seeing signs that Jesus Christ is coming back. It gets worse before it gets better. So the fact that this is it, literally the Bible describes that before Jesus Christ comes back, living conditions would be hard to deal with. It would feel like a struggle. People all around the world would be plagued with sicknesses, diseases. There will be famine, poverty, children disrespecting their parents, senseless crimes, war. There will be greed, there will be sin, there will be lust. We see this all the time. Hello? The Bible is God's message to us. It is a letter to us. He placed visions, very vivid visions. Say that 30 times fast. I bet you can't. But he placed very vivid visions upon the people back then. And then they wrote down what they saw. But this is not a game. It's not a matter of religion. It's not a matter of religious trauma or things like that. It's about relationship. And with that being said, I completely forgot that this was supposed to be a video about me talking about embracing and accepting your truth. And then I just went and started talking about the holy truth, the heavenly truth, the worldly truth, the truth. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Hang in there, y'all, because you're fighting a good fight. So every day you wake up, man, get up with the intention to be your best self, because your best self is not someone who you will become. Your best self is who you choose to be. Let me say that again. Your best self is not who you will become later on in life. Your best self is who you choose to be in every single moment. So in every single moment, ask yourself, what am I imagining my best self to look like? And then imitate that with what you have, because that's how you make it become true. Whatever you imitate, you become. Whatever you consume, whatever you believe yourself to be, you become that. So when you start to imagine your best self and you show up as that, it manifests. There's no such thing as instant manifestation. Remember the thing I told you about, the little brain thing, how your brain put together two similar things and want to put it out at the same time? But there is no such thing as instant manifestation, because instant manifestation is equaling instant gratification. To get what you want instantaneously, that's not of God. If you feel like you're struggling, just imagine yourself as if you're holding something up, and you're holding God up. You understand? And you're holding up his greatness. You're lifting your hands, and you're still praising him through the struggle. And you have that fear of being persecuted, but when you keep your hands up for long enough, they start to feel weak. But you have to continue to lift up the name of God in all his glory, even when it feels hard to do so, because the world wants you to condemn God. The world wants you to blaspheme God. And don't we see that today? This is Holly weird that everybody is looking up to the type of music. Like, look at this, y'all. I saw this as I was looking at pictures. This is ridiculous. And this is the influence that Satan has. He uses big media to influence large groups of people. You guys, this is not a game. This is why I be telling y'all from jump, get off social media, because this is what they are feeding y'all. I want to make a video about this later on, but like, y'all stay tuned, because this is honestly horrible. Don't we see people blaspheming the name of God, blaspheming the kingdom of God? And the reason they do that is because they know he's the truth. And the thing about it is, those demons, they don't want people to know the truth. That's why they say, hey, look over here. Hey, get distracted over here. So that way you don't look at the truth. But you feel like you're struggling because deep down inside, whether you know it or not, you are holding on to God. You are holding your hands out to God. And you trust in God. That is why you're waking up every single day and continuing forward, because you trust that God will make it better. Whether you believe that consciously or not, subconsciously you do. Because if you genuinely don't have faith that your life will get better, then what are you here for? If you genuinely believe that there is no happy ending for you, I'm telling you, it's that simple. And there are people who unfortunately go that route because they genuinely end up believing that. But because you are consistently treading through life, going against the wickedness, going against what they tell you to be, you are holding on to God so tightly, and you are walking with your eyes closed because you don't know what's next, and you have your hands out to God saying, I'm following you, but I'm scared. And God says, do not be afraid, because he is holding your right hand. And he doesn't mean your actual right hand, but what he means by right hand, right is short for righteous. So he is holding on to the good that he sees in you and drawing it out of you. He is drawing out the righteousness from you so that way you leave the sin behind. That is what it means to be right. That is what it means to stand upright. So when you are following God and you realize that your life is changing, you're letting go of people, you're becoming a newer person, you're starting to feel clean, because God says in the Bible, come to me, and if your sins are red as crimson or something like that, then he will make them white as wool. Meaning he will clean you from the inside. He will clean you spiritually. He will purify you so that way you may walk through this earth, you may walk through this wicked world safe, protected. You will shine because he will polish you up. But that's all that I have for this video. This is like my 40th time saying that. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Okay, so this next clip is about to seem so out of place, but I didn't know where else to fit it in at, so yeah. Because in life you must learn voraciously. You must learn voraciously. Learn as if you know nothing. Live each day as if you've never lived life before, and get interested about every little detail. You know what I was wondering one time? I was like, man, yesterday, you know what I was curious about? I noticed that in my yard, I'm gonna put a picture on the screen, there's some red leaves, and from what I've been taught in school, the pigment of plants is chlorophyll, which makes it green. But then I was wondering, well, why are the leaves red? So I googled it, and I learned that, because I didn't pretend like I knew why leaves were red, and I wasn't gonna ignore it. It was a valid question because I was genuinely I was curious, why were those leaves red? And I learned that leaves turn red because the tree produces a pigment called anthocyanins, and those anthocyanins protect the tree from harsh sunlight and dry weather. And also those anthocyanins, they restore nutrients to the tree. So that's why those leaves are red, because of the anthocyanins. That's the pigment. So you have chlorophyll. Now there's two pigments I know in plants: chlorophyll and anthocyanins. You see, stuff like that. You don't walk through life pretending that you know. Sometimes you might wonder, what is a brick made out of? Do you know the process of how to make a brick? You don't. You probably don't know what it's like to make a brick. You understand? And so you can learn. We walk through life just ignoring all these interesting things about it. We walk through life ignoring, like, why do some leaves look long and they look like hair, and then other leaves look different? Like, we never get curious about why everything looks so different, because that's the way Jehovah God made it to be. He created diversity. He created variety. So why are we all trying to be like each other? Live in your own truth and accept who you are. You don't need to wear the same hairstyles as other people because it's trending. You don't need to get the trending thing like everybody else. You don't need to follow the trending style, the trending songs, the trending this, because that's like if every single tree looked the exact same, if every single house was furnished in every single, like, that's like if we were all identical twins, all human beings on the planet were identical twins, nothing was different, everything down to who we were. It's almost like that's if none of us could think for ourselves, if we all thought the same exact way, that would be hell. So when you are trying to live like somebody else, you are putting yourself through hell. Go your own way, do your own thing, and follow the way of Jesus Christ, because you cannot govern yourself. And with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video, y'all have a blessed one, and I'm gonna see y'all in my next video. Until next time, bye friends.